alrighty. Today's the 18th as well as the month is 4th and the year is 26 supposedly. I don't know. So I don't do my best to interact with people when I go out in public, and that's more or less because it, growing up, childish version of me was the whole entire everybody was my friend until I learned why you weren't. But adult me is eh. Like, don't get me wrong, I do want to socialize with the world more and I do want to make more friends. But with so many different, infinite amount of possibilities of how things could go on, I find it hard for me to be able to temperature check to see if they're warm enough to even conversate with. Because some people, why are you even looking at me? Why are you even looking this way? How dare you? There's so much. Why are you staring at me? Why? Why? It's just like, well, shit, yeah, you just started existing in the spot that I dazed off in one. Two, I was glancing in the spot. I was intending on leaving, but now that we are having the situation that we got, that there's so many variables. So I guess in all, I'm just saying I live in a fearful mindset of I don't want to interact with the world because I don't know how the world's going to interact with me due to previous experiences with the world, and realizing that every interaction is different, every group is different, every community is different, every person is different, and it's why not. And the why not is because so I guess I need to stop living in the past, and because don't get me wrong, I would say of all the random experiences I've had with people out in the real world, I could probably list more of the bad experiences on one hand compared to listing the good experiences. If I had to try to list those, I'd be going on so much y'all would think I'm bragging. So let me talk about at least two, I would say, good experiences. One was with a customer, and one was just at a random gas station. Essentially a popular one. I just don't want to give any credit at the current time. So we're stopping getting gas, and what I realized from the whole entire situation was the kids just got done playing soccer. Dad has beer, and I'm just thinking, two boys seem to be high energy. There could be more kids at home, or it could just be these two. I'm not quite sure. It could be a single father. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to analyze and figure out everything from just a small, minute interaction that may never happen again, but many similar ones may happen in the future. So I'm minding my own business. He's minding his own business. Two little kids are being what kids are. Kids. So the funny thing is, like I said earlier, Daddy's holding the beer. They're about side. We're all in line. Is where I should set up is we're all in line and we're about to check out. I'm ahead of the dad. The dad and the kids are behind me, and I stand sideways just because I don't generally like people behind me, as well as I constantly overthink things. I'm thinking kids are about ass high. If I fart, they're gonna die. My ass just smells that bad. I promise you. I used to clear classrooms when I was younger. This has nothing to do with anything else. I'm very overthinking. And like, even if kids aren't behind me, more or less, I just don't like to always stand like this. I more or less stand where I can see who's next to me here. And like, yeah, there's a potential of people being behind me, but no, more or less, there's a barrier. Even though the gas station was a small barrier, but that's the point. One of the kids, looks over and sees these pink. It's an alcoholic drink. I can't quite think of it. It's like the pink little jar ones and mini size ones, and the kid literally picks it up. It's like, oh look, cool. Are these like mini beers? I'm minding my own business, but the kids are loud as hell. My hearing's amazing. They're right next to me. You can't fucking ignore it. So I'm just standing there, just rocking back and forth. I'm just laughing, and of course I glance over because I want to see what the fuck he's holding. I'm just like, that's alcohol. And he says well enough, and he's generally asking that towards his dad, and his dad looks down like, and he's like, yeah, but those are mini beers, and he's like, put those back. And then him and I kind of make eye contact, and I'm just like, kids, what are you gonna do? They say the darndest things. Well, it's not like I necessarily said that. I'm like, kids, there's never a dull moment because that's true. Like, I'm not a father, but I've had countless kid experiences. I'm an honorary uncle. It's just, what do you expect? And I definitely don't doubt I was one of those kids that if you're around me and we're out in public, I generally would have said something that made your face turn red and made everybody else laugh. And never question like, what the fuck are you teacher? Because like, kids are gonna say what the fuck they're gonna say what they see and they're gonna see what they say, and yeah, sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's a but that was completely hilarious. So I figured that kind of like a little bit of a founding moment, and then I went around my business, bought the things I wanted to buy, and then one other interaction still at the gas station. I remembered after paying for my stuff, I went out to the pump because the gas I was getting gas for the truck, put the pump in as I was getting out. The funny part is, okay, let's say I'm coming this way. The kids and the father are going out this door. They already kind of went out the door after I did. And then as I'm coming up, I go through the front first door, and then there's another set of doors. He's literally standing there holding that door, waiting for me. I'm just like, this, he might be drinking, but like at least he's showing me. And let me at least do a little bit of a color dynamics, because I generally don't think it's all that important, but I at least want to mention it for the fact that it kind of is still important, because I'm black, Caucasian family set. Kids Caucasian too. That's why I said family set, not just Caucasian man. I would have mentioned if the kids were offset. Either way, Caucasian family set. Me being the dude that I was in full uniform, so I don't know if the kids are going to see be nice to people in uniform or just be nice to black people in uniform. But either way, I think that overall we had a very harmonic, wholesome interaction, and setting a very good and broad example for kids in general. And then the last story that ended up having kids. So this is actually my last vesper for the day. We end up getting stuff done, and he's holding his daughter. I didn't realize the baby was so damn young. I was questioning if that was a baby boy or a baby girl. The features were so hard to tell, so I'm really glad that he said she, because I was about to say, oh, it's a cute little boy. It's a good thing I didn't know. But he was telling me about how, because we're essentially like gathering payment, we're standing in the doorway / foyer, depends how you want to say it, or how much money you have and how much space you have, back to the point. So we're starting kind of that area, and well, maybe you don't know because this is your first video, but to let you know, if this isn't your first video, well, if this is your first video, I am a fool around kids. If you think I'm foolish and goofy around adults, put a kid around me, all of a sudden because how I think about it, just because of how my childhood experiences is, I know the world isn't going to care about you as much as the people that gave birth to you and that raised you. And at the same time, just because they birthed you and raised you, it doesn't mean that they care about you either. So, as a stranger that's going to be around for 2 minutes, a week, a day, a couple hours, I don't really know how long that we're going to spend together, but I want to make sure that it's kind of like, almost like a fairy tale type of setting. Like, you're not going to remember who I am, but you're going to remember that you weren't fearful. You're not going to remember my name or my voice, but you're going to remember that it wasn't bad to be around me. You're going to remember that you could laugh. You could remember that you could leave, and you could remember that you didn't feel trapped. You could remember that, hey, I might have had some bad experiences, but I've also had a lot of good ones too. Or at least that's what I'm trying to do. But I also realize some things could be mixed in translation. And either way, back to the conversation the father and I had, just a quick little one. He was talking about like, oh yeah, she's nice to everybody, and I kind of recite something. I feel like, because I never know if I'm saying something dark or if I'm saying something wise. I just say it, and then I look at your reaction. I'm like, okay, so is that a, ooh, whoops, I might have flooded the mood on accident. My bad. That's the point. So he was telling me something along the lines that like, she's nice to everyone. And I told him from my experience and my personal experience, I used to think everybody was my friend growing up. But as I got older, life taught me that not everybody's your friend, even if they act friendly. And where I was trying to go with that is, essentially, it's better to have somebody that is nice and thinks everybody is their friend than to have somebody, or at least my belief system, how I'm growing up and believing life, than to have somebody that just hates everybody and everybody's their enemy. Because at least somebody that loves everyone, their base attitude is going to be pleasant. It's going to be kind. It's going to be patient. It's going to be to want to learn to better themselves so they can be more. Whereas my thought process for somebody that generally hates everyone, can't get along with anybody, is just going to be like, how can I always win? How can I never lose? How will I get this done? How will I rise up? And essentially, when they get that type of selfish, it's like, well, things happen. People get hurt. Jobs are lost. It's just the name of the game. It's the time of the season, the nature. But these things happen, but they never happen to me. I wonder why. But I also do believe, without too much duality, patience, love, teaching, decompression. Too much of anything, from my understanding, regardless if it's too much kindness or too much hatred, is toxic. There needs to be a fine line, if not some balance, where it's just like, yeah, there are some assholes, but there are also some angels out there. Some people have to go through 100 assholes to find an angel. Some people have to go through two. Some people go through hundreds of angels until they find an asshole. And some people never find angels. Some people never find assholes. Some people are just, the card plays how the card plays. But I always think I want to interact more with the community. But I always think of younger me, but I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm not as fragile. I'm not as weak. But for some reason, my mind is still fearful. Like, remember when? Well, that's not now. Now is now. And now has changed it again. But back to the point of, also, if I do try to interact with people out in the community, I've come to learn I gear towards men. Yes, I know, it kind of seems a little bit weird. I gear towards men. And here's my logic behind it. Because there's always, yes, I do always have a following reason. There's a train of thought to 95% of my thoughts. And then there's 5% of bullshit that I can't mix. It's just like, yeah. But the main reason why I gear and typically communicate with dudes, not always a fan of it though, is because at the end of the day, from what I've seen represented, women do not like to be approached. Women do not want to be approached. Some women do, some women don't. And how can you tell the difference? You fucking can't. Or at least I fucking can't. I don't know. Maybe you can. Some people can. And I know it's just, well, shoot your shot. What's the worst thing that can happen? My brain. My brain and an asshole. That's the worst that could happen. My brain gonna tell me the worst thing possible to happen. Like, what if I approach her, she pepper sprays me? Honestly, nigga, get rich. What if I approach her, she takes a photo of me, sends it to her husband, now he wants to kill me because I just tried to say hi to her. But she, what's what I'm looking for? Created way more things to the store that never existed. So therefore now, me simply trying to say, hey, how you doing? Oh, my bad, I didn't realize you had a boyfriend. Goes, so, oh yeah, he tried to touch me, and then he was so persistent at getting my number. And it's just like, oh, no. And then I've walked in this one once at least. There's you talk her up, you get her time, you get her attention, you screw her. It turns out months later, weeks later, you find out she got a boyfriend. Now the boyfriend mad because she wanted to be unfaithful and not even want to mention the fact that he existed. And now you having beef with somebody because he, wants to salvage a relationship that don't even exist. And you just want to, have some fun. And now it's just like, oh my God, why the fuck is pussy being so damn expensive? This shit annoying. So it's just like, my thought process when it comes to interacting with dudes, like the worst thing he's gonna do is ignore me or fight me. And socially, it's way more acceptable for dudes to fight dudes compared to dudes fight women. And then even then, like, there's no winning in my head when it comes to fighting females, verbally or physically. Because you could win the argument, but now it's like, I gotta find somewhere else to sleep, somebody else to love, somebody else to fuck. I don't know, maybe if you find the right one, you'll get lucky. That goes for men and women. It's just being patient. And I know life is a numbers game. I just don't always like to play the numbers. That's the biggest thing. I know. Everybody got different numbers. Everybody hits different. You just got to keep going, 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 and eventually you'll get what you want. It's just trying to find joy in the journey instead of just trying to get to the destination. I think that's my problem, trying to get to the destination instead of, oh, look, the leaves are changing. Oh, look, the mountain range, the rocks, the rivers, the trees, the deer. Oh, shit, I almost said that. Oh, look, the people driving by. Oh, that's all the blowed out tire, the Agent Smiths. Okay. How long's my destination now? 25 more years. God damn, it's a long trip. Nah, I'm 27 now. 28 now. I keep fucking forgetting. I keep saying 27. I'm fucking 28. That's wild. Yeah, I don't foresee 50. I actually don't see anything past 37. I don't really see much in the future. I'm just saying, like, 30 seems to be old enough to me. Yeah. I'm going to try to pursue in more conversations with exterior stimuli aside from myself, because I talk to myself all day, every day, most days, but some days I'm like, fuck this nigga. It's just talking to others. I have the fearful mindset of what if they are an asshole? What if they're insufferable? What if they're stupid? What if they're boring? What if they're manipulative? What if they're controlling? What if they're fun? I really think of that. I don't know why. I don't know. Like, because I can make fast friends. I just don't know the right thing to say. But I figured from communicating, if you're talking to the right people or a bot, there's no wrong thing you can say. You can say what the fuck you want to, and they're gonna laugh, or they're gonna be like, okay, and continue moving forward because, well, you said some fucked up shit, but you didn't do some fucked up shit, so it's okay. You know, saying things and doing things are two different things. But if you're doing the things that you say, then, well, some people saying things and doing things are two different things. Some people, it's the exact same thing. It's knowing. Some people have endless amounts of range, and some people have no range. May I try to pick your brain? Oh, I do apologize. I can't tell the difference between those that do and those that don't have one. I shall leave now, okay?